Hello, welcome back. I am attempting for the first time to epoxy a get well soon gift for a person that had been in the hospital for surgery. And I was hoping to have it done before they went and had their surgery, but time's always against me, so I'm doing it after. But it's still a get well soon gift. Now, she picked out the colors, her favorite colors, and then with that, I tried to pick some stuff that revolved around those colors, and here we are now. I am going to give you a quick little rundown of the stuff that you're going to need, and I'll talk a little bit about the epoxy that I chose to use, and then I'll show you my test sample that I did a day before where I laid it set up and some stuff I got to watch out for when I do the gift itself. The first thing you need is a pair of gloves. It can cause a skin irritation, a rash or so. So if you wear gloves, it'll eliminate that. You need some stirring sticks. They advise you to have 3 containers. You put the glaze in one, and you'll put the hardener in the other. And then the third one is where you combine the two together. But honestly, you can put the hardener in one and the resin in the other. And when you stir them up for 6 minutes, then you can put them into one container and then stir that up for 6 minutes. As for the epoxy itself, this is what I chose to go with. I didn't realize some stuff until after I'd bought it, and I'll show you my test sample and why I wish I would have read the box a little more. This is what I got from Lowe's. You see down there at the bottom, it says 1/16 of an inch. I didn't notice that when I was looking at it, so I was looking more of how much it was. Like, it's only a quart, and I didn't think that I would need more than a quart, so I wasn't trying to buy like a gallon of epoxy. So that was kind of an oversight on my part. But yeah, that's what I went with. It's got 2 parts to it, which most people know that have done it before. This is my test sample that I did yesterday. It does look kind of burnt a little bit, kind of yellow. And if you look straight down at it, it's not so bad. But when you look to the side, that's when you really can notice it. So I don't think that would be a problem as long as I keep it cool, because the reason why it's yellow like that is it got too hot too fast and it burnt it a little bit. And then there's some bubbles inside of it that didn't get to escape. You can't really see them very good on the camera, but they're there, and that's from it just getting too hot too fast and then cooling down too fast and setting up. So if I could keep this cool, there's a good chance that the bubbles will be able to come out and it'll be a lot clearer than what it is. Like, looking straight down at it, it looks clear. Well, but I keep touching it, so it's gotten it a little smeared. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering what this is, if you don't know what this is, then you probably don't have a dog or a cat. I used the lid to this to form it up the first time. But yeah, if I can keep it cool, it shouldn't yellow as bad as it did. And if I can slow down the setting up process, the air bubbles should come out. And I'll show you how I think I could maybe keep it cooler so it'll have a little bit more time to set up, instead of, because when I did this, it only took about 30 minutes and it was set up. It was dried and hard, but it shouldn't have did it that fast. and that's what caused this. It got too hot. That part on the box that it said 1/16 is how thick they suggest you layer it, and this is obviously more than 1/16 of an inch. More than that, it will get too hot and do what it's doing now. But I have a plan for trying to keep it cooler longer and hopefully give it more time to set up instead of doing it the way that I did this and causing that yellowing. Now now for the thing that I plan to epoxy, which is this. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, she picked out a handful of colors, and then it was up to me to try to find something that would match around those colors, and that would be what I epoxied. So it started off when I found this heart, which I know she likes hearts, and it had the red and the pink and the purple, which were colors that she picked out. She also picked out blue, and then I had to figure out what I was going to put in it. But what this thing was, it used to be something you could get for Valentine's Day. It was put out, it's like a clay or ceramic, or I don't know. Either way, it's like a clay heart. And the M&M company put it out. It had a lid to it with an M&M on it. I guess it had candy inside of it. You give it to somebody for Valentine's Day. And somehow this one found its way to a thrift store. And then I was going from a couple little different stores to see what I could put in it. And I came across this rock store that had an assortment of rocks there. So I could pick out the purple, the red, and the pink is not so pink. I mean, it looks as pink, but it's like a darker color. And then the pink they had was where you could, when it was all grouped together in a bowl, it was pink as it could be. But when you took one out, then it turned white. So I couldn't use it because you just see right through it. So I filled it with these rocks, and these rocks have a belief behind it. I got pictures of the cards that go with these rocks. If you want to learn more about them or read about them, that'll be at the end of the video. The blue one in the center fits in there really well because it's a heart shaped too. And I thought that'd be a good middle piece. But yeah, I plan to epoxy this. It would keep the rocks all in one place, and it may make them bigger, so it kind of brighten them up a little bit. But I only get one shot at this, and if it overheats, it could break the bowl itself. And if it overheats more than what it did already the first time, then it could come out more darker yellow than it was before. So my plan for cooling it down was like what I've had this sitting on, is sit this on top or underneath this. So when I put the epoxy in there, I will sit this on here and it'll keep it cooler for a little bit longer. I mean, it's not going to make a big difference, but I imagine it will slow it down a little bit, and hopefully it'll slow it down enough so it'll give it time to set up instead of warming up really hot. I mean, it got to 90 degrees in like no time, and then it was pretty much set up and done in like an hour, and it probably shouldn't have. It should have took longer than that. So that's the plan, to epoxy this heart. I got to mix it up, and then I will show me pouring it. But I'm not going to make you have to sit here and watch the like 20-minute process of doing this to get it ready to epoxy something. With this epoxy, it's got to be the same amount. So if I do 4 ounces of one, I got to do 4 ounces of the other. And I learned that maybe one possibility for the bubbles was that I stirred it up too fast. And it could have caused the bubbles. So my plan this time is to stir it up slower, both of them, and then put them together and slowly mix them together and not do it so fast like I did last time. And that might help the bubbles some, and then let it sit for a few minutes. But I can't let it sit too long because it'll start hardening up, and then it'd be no good. So I'm going to mix it, and then when I'm done with that, I will show pouring it, and then I'll let it set up, and then we'll come back to it being finished. Either I'll work out the kinks and it'll look better than the disc did, or it'll look worse. But either way, we're going to find out together. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Also decided to do smaller batches. So I'll pour this one, and then I'll set the next one up, and we'll see what happens. I had to move them rocks around a little bit because they shifted when I poured it. This might be enough. Might not have to do a second batch of it. I know my ice thing's a little crooked because there's more on this side than this side. Move these rocks around a little bit because they twisted. Alright, I gotta do some popping of some bubbles, so I'll be right back. I had to go ahead and move it to a cooler place and get it set up to sit. And I'm going to babysit it, so hopefully everything will turn out good. I'm going to babysit this one better than I did last time with the other one. So hopefully that'll make the difference on how the color turns out. So I'm going to try to keep it cool and try to keep as many of the bubbles popped as I can. And yes, in a few seconds, you will see what happens. And we'll see how it turned out. 8 hours later, this is how it turned out. It did pretty good. It didn't get yellow like I was afraid of. It stayed pretty cool. It does have a little bit of bubbles in the inside, but not as bad as the other one. I like the way that it turned out. I wanted to epoxy something, but I didn't really have any ideas. So I asked her what her favorite colors were, and that's how we ended up here. I took her idea, my idea, and put them together, and I made this. I got some ideas on how I could do better next time. I didn't really know what to expect, But now that I've tried it for the first time, I'm sure next time will be a lot easier. And who knows what I might come up with then. It's kind of dark, so I can't really shine a good light onto it. So if I get inspired to do it again, I will at least know what I'm in for. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and wish me luck on presenting this tour. I will show the cards of the rocks that I used in this in case you want to read about them. My next video is going to be on my crossbow again. I'm going to set up a 300-foot shot and see if I can hit it with my crossbow. And then I have my MREs that I thought about going through and talking about them. And I got a lot of ideas. I even got an idea to track down that beaver that I made that little video of. Not to hurt it or anything, but just to see where he is making his dam at. I'm kind of curious, considering I've never seen one around, but yet I still see a beaver from time to time. So yeah, I got lots of ideas, a lot of different videos that I plan on making. And until next time, peace.